in bad culture is low turnover. If the culture's bad and nobody ever leaves, what's the culture going to always be? Bad. Now, I'm not saying we're walking around firing all the bad fits, but I'm going to fight those bad fits, and I'm going to fix those bad fits, or I'm going to fire those bad fits. I'm going to give them a chance to be fixed, but then if they don't take the chance to be fixed, they'll take the chance to be fired. We have got, and I'm going to go back to Liz Wiseman's book again. She talks about multipliers. She also talks about blockers. And one of her terms is, get rid of the blockers. A culture has a natural socialization. A culture has a natural organic feel where they work together and help each other. There's always going to be somebody who's trying to block that culture. Think about your teams right now. Take 1 second and think about your teams right now and pick out the blocker. You can find them. They probably had a phone call from them before and a phone call from them after. They're always blocking something, always fighting something. They're always the problem. And I'm spending 80% of my time on 20% of my people, and those are the bad fit people. Fix them or fire them. Now, next question I get is, well, what if they're a top sales performer? What if they're a top performer, but they're fighting and they're not a good fit and it's hard? They're causing the organization, causing problems. They're a performer, but they're hurting the team overall. I'm going to give you a very technical answer to that question. I'm going to measure their performance. And if their performance is so good, so far above what the average performance is, that it compensates for their negative effect on the rest of the team, then I got to deal with them. I'm going to marginalize them, but I'm going to let them keep performing. But I will tell you right now on this day, coming from a person who's managed literally hundreds of sales teams, it is rare, very, very rare. Don't allow this as a crutch. Don't fall back on this. Don't make this thing too easy for yourself. It is very, very rare that one individual's performance over average is more than the negative impact that he or she is having over every single other individual on the team. Take the negative impact that he's having over every single other individual on the team and add it all up, and I promise you, 99 times out of 100, their performance that's being held back is more than his performance over the average. Fix it or fire it. Number 10, we'll end on this one, we'll go to breaks. I hear always hit some moves on this one. Are you living fit? This generation is something, man. Millennials in the room, y'all are something. Y'all can sniff out fake. I think it's because you're so good at being fake. You know what I'm saying? You're of it. You're of it, so you can recognize it. You can sniff it out. You want to take it. You want to have somebody go from exploration to disengagement in one step. You want to have somebody on your team go from exploration to disengagement in one step, and that'll happen if they find out that the leader is not living the fit. I'm going to come back from the break. I'm going to talk about power. We'll do coaching and power and persuasion. This generation is very susceptible to, you can use charismatic power. They lend themselves to charismatic leaders more than previous generations. They look to their leader as the personal symbol of what they're a part of. And if that personal leader is not living the fit, their skills are not going to be unlocked. Those folks are going to go straight from exploration, disengagement, and watch this. They'll have no guilt about it. Because how can you expect me? How can you expect me to do all these things when you're not doing them? And a boomer says, I'm going to do those things because it's my job. I was hired to do those things. I don't care if my leader stinks or not. I was hired to do a job, and I'm going to do it. An Xer says, my leader can be the devil. As long as there's a bag of money. It could be the devil's money. I'm going to do my job as long as the reward is there. See, boomers care about structure and hierarchy and respect. And Xers care about money. I told you at the start of this session that millennials care about trust, friendship, teamwork, and environment. So if you don't live the fit, they're going to disengage. They're going to keep getting their pay and keep getting their benefits and keep living their life and not have an ounce of guilt about it because you're not doing it. And if you're my boss and you're not doing it, I ain't doing it. Please. If you're not living that fit, it doesn't matter what it is because ain't nobody else living it either. Let's take